So it's official again. The Last Guardian is delayed. Again. Now, I'm actually kind of hopeful about the response because the response was less of pitchfork style and more of an understanding style. I always firmly believe that the best thing you can do with a game like The Last Guardian or any game, even if it has been 10 years, it's the same with Final Fantasy 15 when it got delayed recently, it's the same with Last Guardian when it got delayed now. The best thing you can do with a game like this is to make sure that the first release is the best release. Don't patch it later, don't have it released with a load of bugs, don't make your first impression of a game be a bad one. Especially when Shadow of the Colossus and Ico have made such a good impression on all of us, and games like Final Fantasy X have made such a good impression on me, and everyone around the world that Final Fantasy has made a good impression on. You don't want to release your game half finished or buggy. You want to make sure that everything's polished, release the best product you can first try. That being said, I feel like the expectations for The Last Guardian are through the roof, and I don't think it's extremely to the fault of Fumito. I'm bad at pronouncing names. I don't think it's completely to the fault of Ueda, who actually directed the game. I don't think it's a fault of his. Because in all fairness, what has he said about the game? He said it's a game about friendship, he said it's a game about puzzles, and that's it. He hasn't said much more about that. Yes, I will say this now. Sony have been hyping it up to shit. Sony have been hyping up to mad levels, but again, we haven't seen that much. I, for one, do the same thing I do with all games that I love, whether it be Dark Souls, or Final Fantasy, or Last Guardian. I go on media blackout. Anyone who sends you a link about it, I just say no, and don't respond. The reason for the delay in The Last Guardian was actually explained by an actual letter to the fans by Shuei Yoshida, which is actually rare. You may not think it happen. You may think it happens all the time, but it happens with a game that honestly is important to the Sony fans. And I feel like there's been many cornerstones over the past couple of years of the Sony console, the PlayStation 4, and I feel like they put a lot on the back of these games. Bloodborne and The Last of Us were two games that honestly Sony were like, these are our games. They put them to the forefront, and it went completely great for them. So you can see the kind of alarm bells going off when they put all their money in one bag, and then all of a sudden the game gets delayed, that they want to explain to people that the reason why that they're delaying this game is to get the best product out there. Now, a lot of people would call me a fanboy, and that's fine, but I haven't played the game, so I can't be a fanboy of it yet. I'm a fan of the director. He is my favorite director of all time. But what I can say is that I'm trying to temper my expectations. I'm not expecting a lot. What I'm expecting from it is a video game. I'm expecting it to be artistic. I'm expecting the visuals to be great. I'm expecting the music to be great. Of course, like with a Ueda game, you can't really expect anything other. But to expect any more than that, I think would be kind of disastrous. Some examples of sometimes when people expect stuff out of games and it doesn't actually come to fruition has been throughout the years. If you saw Fallout 4, that game I honestly thought was great, but a lot of people actually thought it wasn't that good, probably because it had the pedigree behind it of Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, games that I like as well, but Fallout 4 is actually a really, really solid game. Yeah, it has some problems, but I feel like if people didn't expect so much out of it and it wasn't a meme for 5 years, it might actually have gotten across as a better game than it did. The same thing happened with Metal Gear Solid 5 for some fans. It was this game that was hyped up so much, and eventually when it came out, it wasn't delayed or anything, or was delayed, it probably was delayed. But when it came out, people were just, you know, oh, this wasn't what I expected. And I think at that point, it's like, don't listen to developers. You saw it with No Man's Sky. Don't listen to them. Like, they're idiots. Like, the majority of them are idiots. The majority of them want you to buy their game. They want your money. That's what they want. And like, that's why a long time ago when I kept buying into this stuff and I kept pre-ordering games like that, you know, when you're burned so many times, it just eventually just catches up with you. And with No Man's Sky, I kind of saw it coming. I think a lot of people saw it coming. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people probably watching this who saw it coming. It was this thing where he was explaining so many things about that game. And when I saw the file size for the actual game, I was like, no, that's not, what you said is not happening in this game. You know, he said there was going to be multiplayer. There wasn't actually multiplayer. He said there was going to be this, like, you know, expansive open world that would be interesting for everyone. He said the center of the universe would be amazing, and apparently it wasn't. I haven't played the game myself, so I'm not going to actually judge it based on my own gameplay, but I'm judging by the internet's response, or the people who actually talk about the game's response, and that's what I've heard from it thus far. I think one of the biggest things that we can all do is a thing called media blackout. It's a bit crazy, but basically anytime anyone tries to send you a link about a game that you really enjoy, just tell them to fuck off. Anytime someone talks about a game you like, just be like, blah, 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 I'm not listening. Anytime that you have to, you want to talk, I know it's tempting. I know it's so tempting to watch that latest trailer, Persona 5. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't seen anything from Persona 5 yet. I've seen the cover and that's it. I haven't seen it. I've seen the trailer for Last Guardian, I'll be completely honest, but who hasn't? It's the same freaking trailers that have been releasing since 2005. Ultimately, I think this delay is a really good thing. I think delays in general can be really good things. Am I upset that it's a month? Probably not. It's a month. It becomes a Christmas game now. And also it was releasing on the same day as Ashes of Andriel. And so that was kind of a thing. Was like I was going to play Dark Souls and Last Guardian the same day, and I didn't want to taint the experiences of a few games that I thought I would love very much. Dark Souls 3 is one of my favorite games ever. And now I get to play it at Christmas. So that's what I'll say to any Last Guardian fans, guys. And I keep saying that's what I'll say. It's now a Christmas game. You probably remember me making a video saying thank you, Sony, for actually announcing a date for The Last Guardian, being very fanboyish, and I'll completely understand like how I am letting myself get really excited. I'm a hypocrite in this sense. I made a full video how I was so excited for The Last Guardian. I'm 100% a hypocrite in this situation. But right now, I've gone to the point with The Last Guardian where I am trying my damned hardest. It's not helping, it's not working all the time, but I'm trying my damned hardest to just think to myself, it might not be what you're expecting. Just go in it thinking nothing, and you'll probably like it. Because I know for a fact if I go into one of my favorite director's games, and I just think to myself, Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, all of a sudden, I'm probably not going to like the game. And I feel like that's a problem with a lot of video games. You go into your, you go into with the mindset of like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and then you get Fallout 4, and it's not different, but it's probably less than the other two games. You know, it's probably going to happen with the next Elder Scrolls game. You know, everyone's going to go and think in Skyrim, and it won't actually, you know, work out the same way. Guys, that's pretty much all I have to say on that stuff. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I'm happy that they got delayed because that means that they can actually polish the game. I know I'm a hypocrite in some senses because there's so many videos where I say I'm so excited for Final Fantasy 15, I'm so excited for this, but I'm trying. I'm trying just like everybody else to temper expectations. It's hard. It's so hard when video games are like nearly everything to you, you know? But yeah, let's get into talking about what's happening this week. So in terms of what I've done this week, I am preparing to go back to college. It's depressing. It's depressing, but I know I'm excited to go back. For anyone in college, the point, you know, the actual classes themselves aren't that fun, but the time in between them when you're talking to your friends is great. There's some friends I'm excited to go back and see. You know, like I'm really excited to see my friend Adam. I want to see my friend Jack. I'm hoping that my friend Liz will be there with her pop culture references, and I can be like, how's she gone? Obviously, there's a few friends, and they know who they are who aren't coming back this year. It happens in college. It happens. And for them, if they ever are watching this, I just want them to know that I'm so happy that you're trying to do something that makes you happy and not actually doing college, which didn't make you very happy. And personally, I'm gonna miss you, but college, I think college is probably just a place for me at the moment. You know, nothing else pretty much I'm doing this week. There's been actually quite a few, like, I've been playing Resident Evil 4 on the channel. I've been playing personally Persona 4 again. I'm trying to finish that game, but not trying to finish the game. I'm having fun doing it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I've been doing? I played SteamWorld Dig, but I said that last time. No, there's nothing else. Tokyo Game Show and the PlayStation Meme was the past 2 weeks. I've been watching them. In terms of like entertainment, I've been watching Michael Huber and Kyle Bosman play Resident Evil 4. What else can I say? Let's get into talking about the channel. So, a while back I made a video saying I'm getting a bit complacent, and I feel like that video was very misplaced and very misguided, because when I went on to do the other stuff, the review show, and the Calvin Talks, I realized the most fun I have is when I sit down and I'm playing a video game. That being said, there will be a new format coming up, just because as I go back to college, I can't do the review every week. I can't do That Was a Bit Direct every single week, but it will be every odd week, or every time there's a press conference, I will do That Was a Bit Direct. The next one will be PSX after TGS. What I'm going to say, though, is that I will have a video later on that will explain what's happening. It's probably just going to describe what the schedule is going to be like, what time I'll be uploading. Probably going to say around 10 o'clock GMT. But the plans I have are kind of fun. I hope people will enjoy them. I'm excited to actually get the channel back into full swing, because I feel like every time I play Resident Evil, it's kind of for me, because I love Resident Evil, and I know there's not a lot of Resident Evil fans on my channel, but I kind of sacrifice that month of like people watching consistently just to get a Resident Evil playthrough under my belt, because I feel like if I'm not having fun with the channel is not, there's no point in doing it at all. So I guess I've talked a lot about stuff. This is probably gonna be either the best episode of this I've done, or like the worst episode of this I've done. There's no in between with this episode. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Oh yeah, question. I have to ask a question. How was your day?